Fernando Alonso is confirmed to be racing with Aston Martin once again for 2025 and beyond. The news means he'll be staying with the team for at least the first year of the new engine regulations in 2026, when Honda come on board to power the Silverstone-based squad. He'll also continue to reap the benefits of Lawrence Stroll's huge investment in the team, with a new factory and wind tunnel. Aside from that, it also means that one less seat is on the table for the other drivers to try and snatch, with the grid taking shape for next season already. With this latest domino falling, let's take a look at who could go where. It's no secret that Red Bull's second seat has been a tough one to fill in the past few years. Daniel Ricciardo left after 2018 as the Max Verstappen era took shape, culminating in 3 drivers' crowns and counting. That second seed has seen Danny Kvyat, Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon and latterly Sergio Perez try and sometimes fail to keep up with Verstappen. But for 2024 at least, Perez is doing absolutely everything right to keep the seat. Christian Horner emphatically said at the end of last year that the seat is his to lose. With 3 second places behind Max and a 5th place in Australia so far this season, he couldn't have made a better start to his application to stay. He's far from the only Spanish-speaking racer in the hunt though. Carlos Sainz has been ever present on the podium in every race he's contested thus far, with his dominant win in Australia coming barely 2 weeks after surgery for appendicitis. Sainz to Red Bull has been a rumour for a while now, and such a move would see him return to the racing family that brought him into Formula 1 a decade earlier, Toro Rosso. The name may have changed a few times since then, but RB as they're now called, are still the feeder team for Red Bull, so a promotion from within could be another route to explore. Much like Sainz and Perez, Yuki Tsunoda has been doing everything right to prove his worth this season, with 7th in Australia and an emotional point last time out in Japan. Now, in his 4th season with the team, he'll have to keep his newfound maturity and consistency to stay in the running for the seat. On the other side of the RB garage, Daniel Ricciardo is also in the frame, despite a tough start to his 2024 campaign. Ricciardo was drafted into AlphaTauri in 2023 to replace the struggling Nick de Vries, with the very clear goal of getting him ready for a return to Red Bull Senior in 2025. His storied Silverstone test bowled everyone over at the team last year, but he'll have to recapture that speed as the season continues if he's to be taken seriously. Lewis Hamilton is off to Ferrari in 2025, so there's a gaping hole at the Silver Arrows to fill, partnering up alongside George Russell. Toto Wolff kept his cards close to his chest about a shortlist when asked in Japan, refusing to put forth any names or a number of prospects.
We haven't taken the decision yet, and it's not something that we plan to do in the next few weeks. I know that the driver market is very dynamic.
With Fernando Alonso committing his future to Aston, the front-running candidate for the seat is thought to be Andrea Kimi Antonelli, although he's yet to find the podium in his rookie Formula 2 campaign. Many have touted him as a generational talent, hence his jump from Formula Regional to F2, bypassing Formula 3 entirely. Antonelli needs to start racking up wins if he's to take the seat of one of the most decorated drivers in F1 history. One man who hopes to take the crown of F1's most decorated driver, and is already well on his way, is Max Verstappen. The Verstappen Red Bull winning machine shows no signs of slowing down, but there are rumours of a switch. And if Hamilton can make a shock move to Ferrari, Max to Merc might not be that far-fetched. Red Bull dominated at the end of the V8 era. Mercedes were on top in the early hybrid era. Red Bull are the class of the field now that we've moved to ground effect. Could the new regulations in 2026 tip in Mercedes' favour once again? Returning to F1 in 2010 saw Mercedes run an all-German pairing of Nico Rosberg and Michael Schumacher, and the team could take the option to replicate Schumi's comeback in one of 2 ways. The first way, his son Mick. Sat on the sidelines since the end of 2022, Mick Schumacher only got 2 years in F1 before Haas drafted in a more experienced hand. And he's been a fixture in the Mercedes garage on race weekends ever since. Moonlighting with Alpine in the World Endurance Championship this year, all eyes will be on him to see if he can fight for victory in Le Mans in the hypercar category. Keeping his skills sharp is a surefire way to keep him on shopping lists for 2025. The other route Mercedes could take with German drivers is to bring a multiple world champion out of retirement, this time in the form of Sebastian Vettel. Seb has teased the notion of an F1 comeback, having recently chatted with Toto Wolff. Luring Seb out of retirement would be a sensational story, but he will need assurances of car performance to avoid diluting his F1 records. History tells us that promotions from Williams to Mercedes work very well, with Russell and Valtteri Bottas both taking this pathway. So what about Alex Albon? His ability to outperform his car in 2023 earned him several points finishes that should not have been possible, notably in Italy and Canada. After earning and losing his front-running car credentials after being dropped by Red Bull, he's sure to want another taste of the sharp end of the grid. It might seem strange to see Sauber on the list with heavyweights Red Bull and Mercedes, given the team haven't scored a point yet in 2024. Remember though, they become the Audi team in 2026, and so getting in the door a year early to secure a seat at what would be only the fourth works team on the grid is a very smart move for drivers. For the team, it guarantees stability during a transition period, and so an experienced hand is needed. If current drivers Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu don't fit that bill, there are plenty ready to stake a claim to the seat. One such driver is Nico Hülkenberg, who has been heavily linked to taking one of the soon-to-be Audi seats come 2025. Already scoring twice with Haas in a season where the team was expected to struggle, as well as getting into Q3, Hulk's heroics will land him a seat if he keeps it up. Another option for a team leader is Carlos Sainz. While he's being strongly linked elsewhere, there is also talk of the smooth operator bringing his skills to Sauber ahead of their Audi makeover, as a guiding hand and the perfect mix of youth and experience. His father, Carlos Sainz Sr., has strong links to the marque, competing in the Dakar Rally for the last 3 years, coming to a head with an incredible victory this year. And if not Sainz, Sebastian Vettel is once again in the shop window, with the German connection, his history with the team, and Seb's stunning CV too hard to write off. It's impossible to predict how all these dominoes will fall, but fall they will, and whatever happens, we're in for a wild ride with silly season for the rest of the year.